Hi, everyone. If anyone's here, can you hear me? We're having mic mic problems. Can you hear me? If whoever's watching, can you tell me if you can hear me? Terribly tactically already out here. Test, test, test. Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Hi, everybody. If you can hear me, that's good. My guest was having a problem hearing me, so I think he's just going to restart. So, hi, you just had me for a minute. How is everybody? It's hard to wear earphones and look cute. Terribly, where'd you go? Terribly tactically. So I know we were like, should we wait? I don't know. We'll see. Whatever. In the gym, getting your gym on. That's good. I know that was like the all-star cast on Tim Pool, man. I love me some Alex. Like, I wish I could meet Alex so much. I bet he's so fun to be around and be just like, whew, I bet he just like, you can feel him. Hi, everybody. I need to post this on my Twitter. What is today? Today's Tuesday. Oh, it's Taco and Titty Tuesday. Thanks, Colin. I look like a professional. There's a gnat in here. Damn it. Some technical difficulties. Hey, Joe. All right. What else is going on with everybody? Colin, yeah, we should meet at my parents' house. It might be too cold to do the tree house, but it would be fun. We could just meet there. They have good internet at their house, so it's cold. I'm cold. It's not even cold out, and I'm cold. Gotta make sure this all looks good though, right? Hi, Alex. Yeah, the Tim Pool show was cranking. That was cranking. That's so much energy in that trailer. That's nuts. That's a shit ton of energy in that trailer. Yeah, so windy. So windy. We got another forest fire, of course. And no one says what started the fire up in Estes Park, but it was obviously human caused. But it looks like it was right off a road. All right, let's see if it works now. Okay, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, good. I can hear you too. Mostly.
Sorry about that, folks.
We're good.
Dark Tom
How are
voice.
you? Welcome. Are you
Thank you,
doing
thank you.
all right?
I have a LSU Yeti cup filled with scotch and soda, so yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing this grapefruit IPA, and I am going to have another one too. I have it up here ready to go.
Nice.
Okay, turn this up. So, how are you? How have you been doing since we talked last? I forget when you had me on your podcast. It was probably like a month or two ago, or longer than
Yeah,
that.
it's either 2 or 3 months ago. I think it was in September, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Time's
It was a
just
while ago.
flying by.
Yeah, time flies when you're not having fun and everything is shut down and can't go anywhere.
Yeah, and everyone wants to treat me like I'm gross and disgusting and like, it's
Well, I
cool.
mean, look at you. You are gross and disgusting.
I know, I am. Just my existence is just dangerous. It's just like,
Yes, exactly.
whatever. It's kind of powerful that people like, I know the othering is dangerous and all that stuff, but if people really want to think that I'm like terrible and gross, then whatever. Like, whatever.
That's fine. Maintain your distance, citizen.
Exactly. I was barely in your society anyway, so if you want me out, I'll be out. Like, I don't
That's
care.
right. I'll take my ball
So,
and go home, bitches.
I really liked your episode with Fat Dave.
Even though it was like a total nerd fest
Yeah, it was
with all the
fun.
civil engineering stuff.
I love it. I have a client that's a civil engineer, so and he's so nerdy too. I love it. Like, and you do development stuff in developments, right? Like sewer line stuff.
Yeah, so like now I'm doing like housing developments, that type of stuff. So
That's a big
before it was
deal.
coastal water, trying to keep
Okay.
the coast from eroding away.
And like helping pump water back, like because you're in Louisiana, they have all the pump stations and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, we got pump stations for days, and we talked about it on that episode with Fat Dave about the New Orleans Water and Sewer Board. They can go rot in hell because they're just awful.
Were they? Is it their fault Katrina happened, basically?
No, I mean that was just a confluence of events. Basically, New Orleans sits like 2 feet below sea level, so it's kind of like in a big old bowl. And then, yeah, like the water and sewer board didn't help out. Like most of the pumps weren't even operating, because they hadn't checked them in months. And then
Government.
even still, it was like during the flood of 2016 down here. It was like the streets were all flooded in New Orleans because the pump stations weren't working. So that's what you need to keep the water out. Otherwise, destroy New Orleans and build it somewhere else, and then call it
Right.
New Orleans, I guess.
I remember long before Katrina. I mean, this had to be very early 2000s because we had just gotten cable or satellite at my house, and I was watching like the Weather Channel when they had cool shows. And I remember they were talking all
Yeah.
about like, oh, New Orleans is lower than sea level, and if something happens, it's going to be bad. And then
That's right.
and then it happened.
Yeah,
I don't
all
know.
that because the Army Corps of Engineers needs the port to remain in New Orleans. So if the river had corrected itself, like it usually does every few hundred years, the river would probably be flowing through Lafayette, Louisiana right now. So, but you got to have the levee system.
Yeah, all that. It's so crazy. I've seen how houses will do like they'll do a levee just around their house now, like when they're in like floodplains and stuff, and it's like crazy. I'm like, well, that's you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and technically all of South Louisiana is in a floodplain, so because we're a river delta. So
Right.
fun times, fun times.
Fun times. We should talk about happy, funny, fun things. Were you watching Tim Pool?
I really don't watch him at all because he kind of makes me mad sometimes. He's
Yeah.
kind of like Joe Rogan in that effect because he'll get close to like understanding the way we think and everything, and then he'll just like punt it somewhere else, and you're like, oh, why'd you go that way?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It was just a
Yeah.
funny show tonight because it was Michael Malice is on, Blair White, Alex Jones, and Joe Rogan was on for a minute. He had just left before I came over here, so I'm sure that trailer had some energy. Like, can you imagine being by Alex Jones? Like, I'm sure you just him. Oh. Not
Yeah, I
like
gotta tell you,
physically.
I'm a little retarded, so
You are? Oh, that's your Alex Jones. I know. I've been trying to do an Alex Jones impression too. Like, I've
yeah,
been trying to
basically
get
you
it
gotta
down.
sound like you've been yelling and screaming for 15 years solid, and then throw a little bit of a Texas accent in there.
Love it. Poor guy. Poor people say he's like been in trouble with his ex-wife and the kids and shit, but whatever. Like personal family shit's personal family shit. But
Yeah,
I have to feel bad for the guy.
I mean, I dislike him for a whole bunch of other reasons, but
Yeah, like you can't silence people. Like it's so wrong and so nefarious.
yeah, he's pretty much got that Genesis Communications thing on lock. So yeah, I don't like him for several other reasons, but he's like one of these. He's kind of like Trump with that. It's like I don't really support what he does, but I got to get a good laugh when he's getting under the skin of people. That type
Exactly.
of thing.
Yeah, if it's making people mad, then whatever. So what's your week been like so far? Monday, it's Tuesday now.
Oh, well, got into a car accident yesterday. That was fun.
Did you? I didn't.
Oh,
Did you post
oh,
about that? I didn't see that.
yeah, yeah. I was basically dealing with it all afternoon. I was on my lunch break. And that's what I get for looking at a McDonald's and say, hey, you know what? An iced tea would be fucking awesome right about now. So I got to turn into the McDonald's. And some lady did a impromptu pit maneuver. And
Was
got
it
me right
her
in the back
fault?
wheels.
Was it her?
It's kind of both of our faults, I think. Because I
Yeah.
turned without really looking, see if I had an opening, and I guess she didn't see a gigantic red Dodge Charger of, you know, it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to
my
miss my
last
vehicle.
accident was like they're like it's 50-50, and I'm like, okay, whatever, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna
Sometimes you'd
do?
rather it just be like that, and that way the insurance companies just take care of it and
Exactly, let
everything
them
else.
fight. But are you
Yeah.
okay? Like, was it a hard
Oh,
hit?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was low speed. I was like pulling into a driveway, so I wasn't going fast, and she was just coming off of a turn from a side street, so she wasn't going fast either. But it was enough to, bend my back wheels and knock the bumper cover and everything off.
Yeah, are you gonna have to put it into shop to have some work done?
Yeah, that was the other crazy thing. Like, I'm talking with my insurance company, and there's like, this has never happened before, but every shop in your area is full. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, they're not accepting any new vehicles, so you're gonna have to find a shop to get it in. So spent a couple
Shit's
hours doing
crazy
that
right
while I was
now.
waiting on the wrecker to come pick it up.
I think a lot of cars are just waiting too. People just have them at the shops waiting for chips or whatever little fix they need. Our
Yeah,
neighbor had a car that needed a chip, and it was at least 6 months, and they needed to
yeah,
sell it. So,
yeah. Well, it's not even just the chips. It's also other parts. So if you got like a Japanese or a European car, good luck.
yeah, I'm Ford. I don't have anything near the bed. I'm like, I'm Ford, and I don't like the super complicated cars anyways. Like, I feel like it's all just all the chips and stuff is now it's a problem, but it's like more shit to break, and the electrics on the car and all that. Like,
Yeah, don't get me started on turbos.
because
It's the
what did
one.
you say? You have a Charger, so it's a Hemi.
Yeah, no, it's got the V6. My car is
Oh, okay.
quick. It's not fast. I'll put it
A
that way.
V6 is good. I
Yeah,
think my truck's a
190
V6.
horsepower, but it's a heavy Bertha. You know, it'll do
That's,
0 to 60 in like 6.5 seconds, something like that. I mean, it's quick. It's not overly fast.
yeah, because their Chargers are bigger cars, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean that's
they're a
the
little
big four
bigger.
door sedan from Dodge. So really huge back seats. So
Nice for for getting it on and whatnot, or for throwing the kids in there.
yeah, it's mostly for
That's
throwing the kids in there. So ain't no getting it all on back there. Come on, what are you talking about? Haven't
in the
haven't
in
gotten it
the,
on the back seat of a car since I owned a '93 Lincoln Town Car.
that was a good one to do it. I haven't broken in my new truck. I still have to break it in at some point here, but they made the Ford. I had a basic 150 and I got a new basic 150 3 years later, and the back seat's way smaller. Like, it's way scrunched,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
how am I supposed to do it back there? But whatever.
No, you
There's
don't.
more
That's why you
important
got a whole
problems.
truck bed. You got a whole truck
That's
bed back
true.
there. Yeah,
That's true. That's more fun. But then I have to bring a lot of blankets, but I have a lot of blankets in the car anyway. So
that's right. Get a camper top. Nobody can see you. It's great.
I want a regular topper too, just like. But then I won't be able to see shit. I already can't see shit out of it. But I'm gonna
That's
get
why
a
you get
car.
a
We're gonna
permanent
get a
camera
car.
that aims towards the back. That way you can see
There is
everything.
a backup camera, but I'm not used to using it. But whatever. I need to get a car. I just can't be driving a truck around all this much. But whatever.
Well, I mean, you live
Sure.
out in Colorado, so
I do, and I like drive out on ranches and stuff. So like I need,
yeah, so you need four
but
wheel drive.
if I can have a car that like I can switch back and forth. Cheers, by the way.
Prost.
Cheers to Tuesday. I know you're going through some shit, so let's like
Yeah.
I would talk. You don't have to talk about it, but I know this just doesn't make life fun. On top of all the fun we've been having for the
Yeah.
last 20
Yeah.
months.
I was like, even though I said in my tweet, man, I was like, you thought I hated the state before, Now with all
That's
this
why I've
crap,
never. That's why I
even
never did
even
it.
more.
I've
Yeah.
always been like, I don't need them in my relationship. I don't need the state in my relationship, but I don't have kids either, so it's different. But like,
Yeah.
I've been like, I don't want. If I want to break up with someone, I don't want the state deciding who gets to keep the couches and shit. Like, that's just stupid. Like,
Yeah. That's the worst part about it. It's like, oh, we're gonna determine who gets what. It's like, no.
you're like, I'm pretty sure I paid for this, so like,
fairly certain we've lived like 100% of the time without your involvement. You know.
Who knows, you know? Fucking government.
I tell you, man, stupid out there.
That's all right. You're getting out of the clutches of it a little bit then. It's sad, but you're getting out of clutches.
Yeah, not going to be a fun time. Going
No,
forward,
it never is.
But,
and it's not forever though. It's like you have to get
That's
through
true.
those shitty times, and then eventually it'll be, you just, if you can go into it thinking, yeah, this is gonna be shit, it's gonna be hard, I'm gonna feel bad, but I know there will be like an end and healing and moving on. I don't know, not to sound like woo woo, but
No, I got it. It was one of those things where you're just like, man, do I want to keep doing this and just argue every single day of my life and then not get anywhere, you know?
yeah, it's, you got one life to live, man. You gotta do what's best for you.
That's true. That's true. But, you know, also got to think about the kids at the same time. So,
Yeah.
that's the other part.
Yeah, especially during like what's going on, but that's when people say, this is what, when people say like back in the day, they'd be like, oh, the kids will be fine. Like, and you're like, no, kids are never fine. Like, it's a wonder we all made it, because even with like somewhat normal parents, or, you know, like whatever happened in our lives, I'm always like, how the hell did I make it? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's even whole support groups for ACODs, adult children of divorce. So,
I believe it.
yeah,
I
pretty rough.
believe it.
Made a
Let's
pretty,
see, is there anything? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say they made a pretty funny movie with that about that with Adam Scott and Mary Steenburgen and all that. It was a really fun movie.
The Step Brothers one?
No, it was called Adult Children of Divorce. It was actually quite funny.
Okay.
It was like the divorced mom and dad. They like get back together, and then like kids are like all pissed at them. It's like, you two hate each other. What are you doing?
You put us through all that. That's funny.
Right.
I have an aunt and uncle who did that. They like, I think they got married twice, divorced twice, and then they got back together, but they're not married this time. I was like, okay.
Oh, they finally learned their lesson. Okay, good.
Yeah. It's the state that can ruin things, but I understand. It's one of those things. That's why like we can't all be pure ANCAPs and stuff, or in campus stand, because this is the system we live under. And if you're in a relationship with property and kids, like, you know, you kind of have to do these things. Although you can just write up contracts, I suppose, and do it outside of the system. But
yeah, definitely get the prenup if you guys haven't done so already. I'm just saying.
I'm not getting married. My poor man, he already got divorced.
Famous last words, Forrest Mommy. Famous last words.
No. I don't even have, like, I don't need a consolation prize if we break up. So, and he already been through that. I wouldn't put him through that again. So, although my dad did say one time, he was like, well, before I get to my deathbed, I'd like to see you guys married. And I'm like, yeah, that's so unfair. You can't say that. Like,
it's like, I hope you packed your bags. You're going on a guilt trip.
I know. And all my siblings got married, like normal weddings and all that. I'm like, why do you need me to too? Like, hello. But whatever. You sounded good on the guitar there. Good stuff.
Oh yeah, I was just like noodling around. So gotta keep up the practice a little bit.
Yeah. Do you play in a band or anything?
No, I played in a band while I was in high school, and then like the drummer's mom was like hitting on all the rest of us, and it made everything really uncomfortable. So we had to break up.
Was she the cool mom? She was a cool mom.
Yeah,
right?
She was thinking she was the cool mom. It's like, it's not cool if you're hitting on 15-year-old kids. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you need to have boundaries. But like you experience that, and then it's like not hard to believe how there's a lot of female teachers out there who do that shit too.
Yep.
Like,
I had the teacher that did that shit with me too. So.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
So it's like, do they get drawn to that process? Or do you think that like they get drawn to that, or do you think it just happens as they work in it?
You know what? I really don't know. And I think in the teacher's case, she was always a little bit flirty with just about everybody. So it was like one of those type of things. So I just think he was just just horned up all the time.
So that's exhausting. I'm still getting my horny back after the fucking first shutdowns. Like I'm still trying to get back to like just being normal, but then I'm on Twitter. Like I get on Twitter during the day and read shit, and then I'm like, ugh.
You're welcome for my service.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, of course I get in with the Liberty people and learn the truth of everything, and now I can't even like function. But whatever, it's worth it. It's better to know the truth.
That's true. That's true. That's like the old saying goes. If you know the truth, then you know pain. So
Yep. And you have to like know the pain to know to appreciate good and not
that's very
pain,
true.
really.
That's very
As
true.
much as
So
it
when you know
fucking sucks.
this one, the good times roll, you can savor it a little bit better.
Yeah, because you're like, damn, damn. That's what I thought. Like, not that I thought they'd give up the whole COVID thing, but like things are just getting progressively worse and worse. They're not getting better at all. So it's like hard to like like I don't. It's just hard. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to go skiing this year. I haven't heard. They haven't said skiing's vaccine only, but they could easily do that. So it's like
Yeah.
I can't go to hot yoga, I can't go dancing, and I can't go skiing. Like the only things I liked to do. My little life is just gonna be so little now, but oh well.
Well, that's okay because you have meta, and that's augmented reality, and you can just put
I'm
on the
not
goggles.
no. Lord no. I wouldn't even get on Facebook for the last two years.
Yeah.
What
Life
was I
was
just gonna
been
say?
so much better since I deleted that shit over a year
Isn't
ago.
it so
Oh my
much
god,
better?
so much better.
And I think what's going on, I don't want to, I mean, I know all social media plays into it, but Facebook especially is and was doing things to people. Like people, something weird happened there. Like the whole monkey see, monkey do thing got crazy. And like, I don't
Well, it
know.
also feeds off your hatred. So all of the accounts that you're following and you interact with it, all the comments and everything down below. I mean, they were just feeding all that into the algorithm, so that was all that you got to see.
Yep. And if you're only in like certain areas of it and like, that's all you'll see. That's all you see. Like, I have a friend who like was a cool person, but she would go on to someone sent me screenshots, which I was like, don't do that. But she like went back to Facebook and like was like talking, call me alt right because she would stalk my Twitter and all this and
Oh,
like, but I'm like, how are you like you used to be about freedom too? Like, how is this like how did that happen? But I can't even make
yeah.
sense of it anymore because even like
Boggles the mind.
my swinger friends have like bought into all this, and I'm like, you fuckers used to like joke about how you would spread a cold at a party and stuff before, and now you're all like,
Yeah,
it's all guilt. It's all their guilt. That's what I think it is.
it probably is. You never know. It's like I was like in the DMs the other day, and like one of the accounts that follows me, she was like, I'm gonna follow you from this account because I can't do it from the other account because all the woke prostitutes will come after me. I was like, oh well, we don't need woke hookers. Nobody wants that.
No. Or like my friend Spirit Llama, who he's on. I don't know if you know him on Twitter, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
hang
yeah.
out here in real life, and he's like, he knew like some doms, like professional doms that like bought into it. But then I'm like, yeah, but those people like wearing masks and shit,
Yeah,
so
yeah. It's
they're
like
fine with it. Like,
they are all about the petty authoritarian power trip. That's
yeah, they like put those masks on. I'm like, it makes me claustrophobic to look at it. Those like get masks and stuff. Oof.
oh man, it was hilarious. At Childerberg, there was this one chick who showed up, and she had like a leather spiked mask that she was wearing at the event at the distillery. And then after about 10 minutes or so, she was looking around, and like nobody's got masks on except for like the people who worked at the distillery. And then she slowly took it off. I was like,
At
oh,
least it
this
was
was a fashion
badass.
accessory for you.
That's funny. There was even people at the 50th Libertarian Party out here. There was a handful of people that had masks on, which whatever, that's your choice. But like,
Yeah.
also you're a dork. And I don't know if you saw the picture of Nick Sarwark from that, where he's like deep throating a popsicle.
I saw
It's
the
so
picture,
good.
and it's like everything else. I'm just going to ignore it because half of me just thinks he did it on purpose, just so somebody would take a picture of it,
Probably.
so he would.
I
Have
kind of
something
want
to
it on
complain
like a
about.
shirt. I want it like on a shirt, like just like kind of drawn out. I should talk to Top Blaster, just like. Gimp's been turned on the whole. Yeah, Gimps have been turned. That's the thing. I think a lot of this too is just unbalanced dom sub energy that people have in there. Everyone's so weird about sex and stuff now, so it's just like they're like, yes, government, I want you to be my dom, because that's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do.
Nah, I think probably about the worst thing I ever saw was in the grocery store, and like some old battle axe was like sitting there just yapping at her husband. She's like, I can't believe there's people walking around in here without masks on. And she had the face shield, the mask, the rubber gloves, the goggles, the whole 9 yards. Just complaining up a
Like
storm. Meanwhile, the husband just got, yes, dear, yes, dear. I was like, oh, dude, come on, say something. I know it's
he's
deep
already
in there.
been like the boom. Were they boomer age? Because the boomer
Oh,
women
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
emasculated their men for years. Like I noticed that growing up with my mom a little bit, and so I was like, what? That these women were so mean to their men who were like paying for their lives. Like I don't get that. But I think
Yeah,
well now we're in a whole new world of weird shit. But
yeah, I've seen a few examples of this around town. It's like walking into the store. It's like, no, we're getting the margarine. You can't have the real butter. Your doctor says your heart is not working right. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, just smack her. Do something. Get away. Just run away.
that meme, the guy with the stick, like just push it a little bit.
So, do something.
Do something. Step for yourself. Oh wow.
Yeah.
We can't. It's weird. You can't convince people they're being harmed. Really, like it's such a weird world. I don't know if you noticed before 2020 and all this. Like everyone was all about talking about gaslighting and women
Oh
are
yeah, they
abused and all
definitely
this.
overuse that term. Oh god.
And then
Like,
now
I feel
I'm
I'm
like,
being gaslit. I was like, no, you're not. You would really know it if it was happening to you.
but then they don't. They don't now. They're being
Yeah.
gaslit by the government, and they don't know because it's all social acceptance shit. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're the social
Sorry.
contract.
Yeah, fuck the social contract. You know what else was part of the social contract was that you get sick sometimes. That's part of the social fucking contract.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Because
I
remember
just
how you had
think
to show paperwork that said you got your shots when you had to go to the grocery store? Yeah.
yeah, it's totally normal. Like, and that, like I said, going to the gay club, they always ask for, our vaccine records to go dancing at the gay club. Totally. They always
Right.
have. Like, it's
Yeah, we had to show our phones with the little QR codes on it everywhere we went.
it's totally normal. You're just
Yep.
crazy for thinking it's not. You just want to come in here
I
and
know,
kill all the
I know.
grandmas.
I know. The little kids have always had heart attacks. I mean, come on.
That's the worst part. Like, that's probably what you're dealing with in real life is like, it's hard for me to see like people want other people's kids shot up and covered like so bad. And I'm like, have your own goddamn kids, first of all. Second of all, why? Like, it's when you're not authoritarian, it's just so hard to understand. I just can't get it.
Yeah, it's rough.
I
walking
just can't
around
get
and
it.
See it, and then you're like, oh, and then it's happening in your own house, and you're like, oh.
Well, yeah, like, and back in the day, people would like, if you saw someone like hitting their kid outside of the store, you would kind of like, do I say, like when they're going a little too far, like, do I say something? Like, and now it's just constant, like, but you can't say anything because they're righteous and totally right. And,
Yeah. No, I'm 42, and that shit was happening when I was a kid. The other parents was like, can I take a turn?
I know. The neighborhood mom will beat your ass. Like,
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're going to go get pups from the principal? Well, guess what? Now you're going to get it on your trip home, with mom in the car. And then, wait until your father gets home.
yeah, mom reaching at the back, smack. One time my brother-in-law, before my sister was married, we were all in the back seat, and my mom like reached around to hit one of us, and she hit my soon-to-be brother-in-law, and like was just trying to hit all of us. And, like,
Just trying to get you all in one swipe. Yeah.
That was the thing back then. Corporal punishment. Whatevs.
Corporal punishment all over the place. Yeah. Pasadena Independent School District right there in Pasadena, Texas, everyone had the paddles up on the wall. Teachers, principal, everybody.
Get them all.
Yep.
Now though, I wish we could do it to adults now. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah, the lunch lady had one, the janitor had one, everybody had a paddle.
And they probably didn't have to use it much because everyone was scared. Like that's probably the psychology, right?
Well, except for me, because I was like, no, fuck you. I'm not gonna do what you tell me to do.
Good. Good. My dad had that happen. My poor dad, he was adopted, and his mom was awful to him. And then he was kind of like, back in the day, just a normal boy. And they would like lock him in a closet at his school, like for doing like nothing. But he turned out fine. And he had me, and I'm a
Never
wonderful
got locked
person.
in a closet.
So.
Yeah, it was always like pops out in the hallway or in the principal's office.
Would you not show any like reaction to it? Were you like,
Yeah, it was like, I remember when my 5th grade teacher did it, I kind of turned around and I was like, that's all you got? And he was like, what'd you say? I was like, my dad puts out cigarettes on me, and he beats me with the buckle into the belt. What are you doing here?
God. God. How do we all make it?
It's like, you're gonna give me a spanking. I mean it.
Yeah, you want me to learn my lesson or not, asshole?
Is that it?
God. Well, I'm sorry you got cigarettes put out on you.
Yeah.
It's kind of common. Like there's more, like we all know, there's so much abuse that happens to especially men and boys that never really gets talked about, and that not just physical, but sexual and like all this. And like, no one really cares. They're like, well, half the people just continue the cycle. Like the guy, Kyle Rittenhouse, killed the pedophile. I'm sure he was abused. Yeah. I'm sure he was abused growing up. Like, I'm sure it
probably was. Yeah.
Yeah. And he turned bad because it's hard to overcome that kind of a thing when you don't have the support.
My favorite thing was seeing some of the reaction to this, and some of the lefties were sitting there passing out, Rosenbaum, the hero. They were passing out these little flyers that said, yeah, he's like the hero. I was like, really? The guy was let out of a mental institution that day and just kind of showed up at a riot.
Yeah, which I think they were doing on purpose. I made a post about this, but I was like, all the people they showed that they did end up arresting in like Portland and stuff, they all had records already. So it was like, what was happening? Like, were people just? And I know the facilities were all full last year, so I'm sure they were just like, yeah, go out and riot, honey, go riot. So I know
down
they
here in Louisiana. I mean, during a hurricane, it's like all of our really bad inmates are just all of a sudden dead in the cell block. I wonder what happened there.
Was there a riot, or they just left them there to die, pretty much?
No, they were shot dead and just left there.
by the COs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a story that never gets talked about. It's one of those little Hurricane Katrina things. I was like, well, these are the worst ones, so we can't let them get out.
God. I hate being a human sometimes. I feel so like...
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I don't expect perfection, but like, come on. We can do better. I don't know.
One would think.
Especially when we come from like more of our mindset where we're like, live and let live and cooperate and voluntary association. No, we can't do that.
No. Whatever you guys over there with your liberty folk think you're doing, it constitutes fun, and we can't have that.
No. That's what it is. Although I'm the one who can't go have fun now, even though like I used to love like getting people involved to go have fun. I used to specifically go to this gay club and like for some reason I just get along with like cross-dressers and trans people really well. And I knew there was people who just were going out just testing it. And they just needed a friend. They just needed someone to talk to because they've been awkward all their life and all this. And like I love doing that. And now I can't fucking go. Like, fuck you. I could go if I wanted to test. I could go help the test makers make some money to go dancing, but I'm not gonna fucking do that. So
yeah, it's not worth it.
No, I did find one club. A friend of mine texted me because I was kind of raging out on Instagram. That's like the only place I still talk to some of my normie friends. But there's some good people in there too. And he was like, "Hey, we can still go dancing at this one club. They're letting us in." So I was like, "Okay." So that'll be exciting. I'm all excited just to go fucking dance. Yeah. Like, how stupid. Yeah. But
I mean, it was great the couple times I went over to Florida this year. So, Jacksonville was completely open. Yeah, Orlando was off the chain. Got to see all of the Tower Gang down there in person. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, did you go? You went for the Tom Woods thing?
Yeah, I went to the Tom Woods 2000. It was
nice.
a fun weekend. Got to meet all of my favorite people from Twitter. And
oh yeah, you met Anthony, right?
Yeah, I saw Anthony when he pulled in, and I said, "Oh, hey, Anthony, you didn't bring anything with you this time, did you?" And he was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna get us all sick like you did up in Park Fest." And he's like, "Oh no." Yeah, and then when he walked away, I was like, "Yeah, and I'm not kissing you." So.
But that's why I made that. I'm like, I'm sending something. Like, that's why I made that post about that. Cause I'm like, I knew he had told me about that. I didn't know about the Pork Fest, but he told me, and I was like, that's hilarious. So
yeah, pretty much everyone thinks that he was patient zero up there. So
it happens.
But yeah, the Tom Woods thing was ridiculous. It was so fun.
Was it?
We're having more fun out in the hallway than at the event itself. was so great.
I believe it. Did you stay overnight there at the hotel and stuff?
Yep, I stayed there 2 nights, Friday night and
Nice.
Saturday night. Yeah, so Friday night I got there about mid-afternoon after driving 12 hours from Baton Rouge. So that was fun.
It's
Got to
still a
hang out in
12-hour
Disney
drive,
Tra-
even from Louisiana.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn. Well, I guess you have to go. Yeah, you have to go down the Florida. Like it goes down.
Yeah, Orlando's about halfway down the peninsula, so once you get there,
You went to Disney? Did you say?
no, I mean you're gonna get stuck in Disney traffic because where the hotel was at was like right around the corner from Disney, so that was fun.
Okay.
Just spent about 45 minutes in traffic just waiting for people to go. It was like, oh, come on. It was not even fully open, so I can only imagine what it's like at peak.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
They still have like a limit on capacity at Disney.
They had something. I think their mask policy was like you had to do it indoors but not outdoors, and then there was like still people like freaked out that you're going to be in public with other people. But I mean, it was still busy as shit. But just kind of looking around, I was like, I can only imagine what this crowd would have looked like 2 years ago. You know.
Right. Ugh. Silent moment.
Well,
Gather our
we're drinking.
composure. I had to take a drink. What else is going on in our Liberty world? Anything?
What else we got? I mean, the debate between, joining your local Republican Party is still going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is always kind of like I was like, yeah, I mean, Tho Bishop has got his little section blocked off over there in Tallahassee and everything, but I was like, yeah, like the local Republican Party around here, I kind of looked into it, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. Those same names were hanging around since the 90s,
Yeah. I
I was
think
in
in
the
Colorado. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was like, yeah, it's all the same people, so there's no way that you're going to break into that.
I think in Colorado we'll have an easier time in some of our counties bringing even the more red people to more of a liberty-minded stance. Like, I think we'll have an easier time doing that, but only in like 2 counties right now. Like the rest of them, 6 of them just announced, 500 or more people, you need a vaccine because that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so stupid. I can just go on. Oh, this is Carrie Ann is she officially kicked out now? Do you know?
I don't
Ann
really
stuff?
keep up with it. I left the party in 2018, haven't really looked back, so.
That's smart. I just got involved this year. But the Mises people in Colorado are actually pretty fun, so that's good.
No, and there's people in the party that I love. Karen Ann's one of those. Just hitting my microphone over here. Yeah, so there was most of the Mises Caucus people are pretty awesome. But it's just overall, it's just the other people that are there. It's like the only thing that they're looking for is just to be the big fish in the little pond, or they're feds. So
Yeah, and any government or anything where you have to have committees and subcommittees and go through all the bylaw, like that's just, it's so inefficient. I get that that's what you have to do, but I'm like,
oh yes,
you can't get any.
Jokingly referred to it as the cult of Robert's rules at meetings before. So it's like.
Yeah,
It's like human beings don't talk this way. Can we just talk to each other like humans? But no.
No, we have to do this. Like, I remember I watched the thing where they were like doing one of the committees on her, and I'm like, these people suck. Like, they just sucked. But who was good was DL Cummings, I think his name, DL, who that is. He did her like
familiar.
he's on Twitter or something, Liberty Dad or something. But he like did her opening statement for her, like kind of like, and he was so good. I'm like, oh damn, I'm hiring him if I ever need like someone to make a statement for me because he was so good. Like, that's a good way to see people. Chuck that getting hammered.
Jose's got the right idea.
Hell yeah. Party on. I've been going to like a lot of like the different county LP events out here, and like it's just fun. Like, you just get to know people, and we have Liberty on the Rocks out here, which is super fun. And just get fucking. I've been partying harder than ever this last year, pretty much by myself, but whatever. It's fun to go to the Liberty events too. So
definitely. Yeah, when I was in the party, I would hang out with the East Baton Rouge party affiliate, the Livingston Parish party affiliate, and then Ascension Parish when they had one. I'd hang out with them. Those are all my buddies. And then we had our own little side thing going. It was kind of like a Liberty on the Rocks. We just called it Liberty Sessions, where we would just like pick a topic, talk about it, take questions and answers, and then the rest of the time we just kind of hung out. It was a pretty fun time.
Yeah, like I've heard people say, "Oh, it's dumb that people make the Libertarian Party their social club," and I'm like, well, yes and no. Like if you're just doing the like party business, yeah, but if you're like connecting with people and like I said, like the Mises people out here, we're all like, a lot of us live totally different kinds of lives, but we all get along because right now we're fighting the mandates and whatnot here. So like we have a shared goal basically, and they're just fun. They like come over and part. Oh, well, I'm going out of focus. There we go. Like they're part. Like I had a party at my house. I'm gonna have a lot of parties at my house because we're not allowed to go anywhere.
She's drinking her second IPA.
Oh, am I out of focus or am I just drunk? No. I know these are so I had to. That's why I made that post, because I was having a drinking problem over the last 6 months, and I've never had a drinking problem ever in my life. I never even used to drink, and then I was like, I could like slam 5 Coronas, which are lighter, but like I could just slam them in one night, and I was like, what the hell am I fucking doing?
Barely
like,
buzzed. Yeah. Built up your tolerance.
Yeah, and now I'm like, these are a little stronger, so I'm only having 2, but whatever. It's more for vain physical things. Are you out? Sorry.
I'm out now because I drank it all.
Does it feel warm in your belly?
No, I would need to drink like another big one of those to get buzzed. So.
Okay. Well, if you need to get one, feel free to get one.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask Jose. I almost emptied out an entire bottle of Johnny Walker Red while I was in the hallway. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's just booze. Yeah, so was that the first time you met Jose? Was that thing?
Yeah, that was the first time I met Jose in person. And he was funny. It's like before I was hanging around him, you could hear his little stupid giggle like from across the room. And it's like, oh, that's Jose. Where is he at? And then,
that's why I watched this podcast, is he giggles. I love giggly people anyways, because it's just funny. It's just you're laughing at yourself.
Yeah,
I hope he's here and heard that.
Clint and Reed, and got to hang out with Pete Quinones there for a little bit right at the beginning, and then a whole bunch of other people were there. It was so fun.
Oh, good. I should have came. I was kind of half planning on it. I was half planning on it, but then I just didn't. Like I said, the last 6 months have been a little much for me. So.
Oh yeah,
I've been having a hard time.
It would have been fun with you there. Oh yeah, it would have been very fun with you there.
The next thing, I would like to go to Pork Fest for sure next year, and Childerberg.
Well, I mean, you're a little bit closer to Childerberg, and of course, I'm wearing the Investigate Childerberg shirt. So.
All right, they haven't opened up for reserving yet, right?
I don't think so, but but I think the goal for the next Childerberg is to rent out the entire park. So.
I'm fine. And it's like I looked it up. It'll be like a 14-hour drive for me, but I would drive down. I don't got to deal with airplanes, and I can camp in because I have a cool tent for the bed of my truck. And
there you go.
And I could maybe I'll bring someone. Maybe by then Anthony will be allowed back in America, and he could come here and drive down.
He was a trip at the last Childerberg. It's kind of fun watching him walk around, and then he got on that Slurp Gang podcast, the 2 hours of psychopathy that was going on there. And then it's like most of the time he'd look over and he would be back napping. He's like, oh, he's taking a power nap.
He needs his rest. He's he's a vegetarian, so he needs to rest a lot, and
Yeah, it was just so funny. It was just looking over. It was like we're at the show at the distillery. I'd look over and Anthony would be napping, and then he would be up like 5 minutes later. I was like, man, just go get a room, just sleep.
Yeah,
go
do
what you're gonna do.
Get a good nap. But he was traveling so much this last year. I'm like, I don't know how you do it out. Like, I hate travel, so I don't know how he's been doing it.
Yeah. He was like taking a little tour of all over the United States too. It was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, he was all over. He's been here for like a year in America, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, in Costa Rica. He's in Costa Rica right now, but then they're going. Oh, I should mention this to all the people who are watching. One person. They're doing the Salulita super spreader in Mexico.
Yeah.
The December 10th through 12th, that weekend, I think. So
yeah,
I'm not going.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
going
with Johnny
'cause-
Profita. Mark Claire's going to be there. Buck Johnson's going to be there.
and I think Robbie
There's
too,
another
but
one.
then
It was a good
Robbie's
time.
coming to Denver.
Oh yes,
So,
yes. Sandwich.
so I'm
bags, of
excited
course.
for that. Yeah, he's coming. He's coming on the 12th, so he must not be staying there that whole time. But I'm excited for that. Like the whole Mises Caucus bought all the tickets. Like we're all like, it's gonna be fun. I have some
Yeah.
friends I invited, so
Yeah, Robbie
it'll
was
be
fun at
good.
Childerberg. The episode that he recorded live there, it was basically all my equipment because I brought it. And he was like, "Oh, cool. We'll
Nice.
just set up all the stuff at the table." I was like, "Yep, go for it." That's why I brought it.
That was nice of you. That's like the community commune aspect of our people, right? Like
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
share.
Another great thing about Childerberg is you'll walk out with more alcohol than you walked in with. So
Yeah, because a bunch of people who make it came, like brought all their mead they brought, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, the Agora Brewing guy, he had all that mead out there, and it was like the last day I was like getting up. I was about ready to pack up, and I opened up my ice chest, and it was like several 6-packs of beer that were just in there. I was like, I didn't bring any beer. I hope I didn't steal this. But I was like,
that's good.
just moving it around. I was like, all right, who had this? This yours? All right, I'm sticking it in this cooler now.
Share the wealth for people who are still there.
Oh yeah.
I want to come. I want to come next. Are you planning on going next year?
Yes,
In
I will
May?
be there as the unofficial spokesweasel for Childerberg. I will definitely be there. So
Is it the same time as Reno, or is Reno's like? Cause almost, right?
Yeah, it's after the national convention, so it's actually on Memorial Day weekend. So you could do
Okay.
both. Like if you were
I know. I've
flying
been
into
thinking about
Reno,
it.
it's like my former hometown, by the way, and I'm not going. So
I'd only want to go to party, just like Jose said. Like I just would want to show up and party.
oh yeah. The 2018 convention probably would have been a huge party if I wasn't a delegate on the floor. You know, but oh well.
You had to do business and shit.
Yes, I was one of those. Point of information, Mr. Speaker. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the shit I hate about. Like that's just why we can't get anywhere. That's why no one can get anywhere ever. Like
Oh yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
I hate it. All right, let's think of some happy things to think about. What is something you're looking forward to in the next month?
In the next month, Turkey
Yeah.
Day. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm cooking all sorts of shit next week.
Are you hosting? Like are
I am
people
not
coming
hosting,
over?
but I will be cooking at the mother-in-law's house. So
Okay.
yeah, making apple pie and cherry pie egg rolls. Probably.
Oh
be
yeah,
making some-
I saw your post about those. They look good.
Yeah, the air fryer doesn't quite do it though, so they'll have to be like traditionally fried. So I tried them out in the air fryer and they didn't exactly turn out all that well.
Yeah.
But
The
also
air
making
fryer's
the,
like
yeah,
go on.
it kind of works for a steak, but then not much of anything else. But yeah, I'm also making the world's famous bacon broccoli as well. So
Is it like cheesy bacon broccoli?
there's a little bit of Parmesan cheese on it. It's bacon chopped up, broccoli, of course, olive oil, salt, pepper, pine nuts, and covered it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and then you roast that in the oven for about 45 minutes. It comes out awesome.
Oh, I bet that is good. I love
yeah.
pine nuts and like any like even escarole or whatever, like any leafy green with pine nuts and garlic and oil.
Yep.
Love
You
it.
can pretty much do all of that same stuff with Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah,
mustard
I make
greens, all
good.
kinds of stuff.
I make good Brussels sprout. I do bake. I cook it in bacon oil, or like I roast them first so they're cooked, and then I fry them up in bacon oil and I throw bacon in. I throw some like pecans in and craisins, and oh, it's so fucking good.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
What craisins?
Did you just say pecans? Did I hear that correct?
Pecans? Pecans. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
there
have
you
a
go.
solid accent because I'm a parrot. So,
Yes, it's definitely.
and I go between Colorado and pecans.
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 Yes.
Pecans. All right. Are you having anyone fun on your show soon coming up?
Yes. So I reposted the episode I did with Fat Dave for all the other platforms. That was tonight. Thursday, got a bonus with Yael Becker that's going to be on.
Oh, good.
And
I love
then-
her.
Yeah,
Love
she's
her.
awesome. I was like, kind of got sidetracked in my head about release and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, it'll be out Tuesday. And then I was like, oh crap, I've got this other episode that I've got to do. And then trying to think who else is in the can. Let's see, I got CD McRae, who's going to come on next week before Thanksgiving. And then I'm trying to get a guy who specializes in kind of like underdog local political races. He wrote a book about it and everything, and I'm trying to get him on soon. So that'll be kind of fun to talk about, because he's like a Democrat. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what he's got to say. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have good girl power going. Oh, I'm reading Jose's comment. Aggress are the dudes who show up to LV. That's true, because when I went to the 50th party here, someone like whispered in my ear, "Hey, do you know where the drugs are?" And I said, "Yeah, let's go to my car." Like, and that was the funnest part of the party. And I met a fun friend, and he was new to libertarian, but he paid to go to that. I'm like, "Are you a Fed?" You know, it was a little weird, but no, he just got involved. So I was like, "Sweet." But he's living in Las Vegas right now, but he'll be back out here eventually. It's just fun to meet fun people, you know? And we're also like, I feel like the one thing about libertarians is we are super judgmental, but we're super accepting too. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to explain it. We're not like, we're not always openly, like, I judge plenty on the inside. You know, I'll judge people all the time on the inside, but like, I'm also like, let's be friends and let's hang out too. Like, you know, like,
yeah, we always kind of like hold it in the back of our minds. It's like, this person is totally a Fed. I know they're a Fed. I'm just waiting for them to admit that they are a Fed.
I think people still think I'm a Fed, and I would have made a great Fed, but fuck them. Like, now I'm gonna like destroy them because they didn't make me a Fed. But I would have been a double agent anyway.
Your Fed meter is still pretty pegged, you know, the pretty blonde and claiming to be a Liberty babe. Yeah, sure.
Liberty babe. I'm not a Liberty babe. I'm Forest mommy. I like all day, every day. I'm like trying not to get involved in the drama. Like, there's so much drama on Twitter. It's so stupid. Like, I'm like, how do you guys? And that's what Facebook. Like, it feels like Facebook to me when people are like.
Yeah, sometimes when I open the app and I was like, oh, Dollar General Degrassi Junior High is still going on.
That's perfect, because Degrassi wasn't terrible. Like, Degrassi was fairly entertaining. Like, come on, like Dollar General. That's perfect. That's so perfect. It is high school shit, and then people get mad at you if you don't get involved. And I'm like, this is somebody else's private life. Why would I be getting involved in voicing an opinion on? Like, it's so weird.
If they're being like over the top ridiculous, then it's like, you guys, you have a mute and a block button. Use them.
Yeah. But then people are like, it's like a gang in their group chats, and they're like, oh, you blocked me? Why'd you, or like, then it gets around. It's so
half
stupid.
of the fun of group chats is just like blocking somebody at random just to kick them out of the group chat. I mean,
that's right, because I can't get it. I'm down to one. I'm in one group chat with all my just Colorado people. We just like go crazy. Like, we basically Fed post and then plan events and stuff. But
yeah,
that's easy. It's not like a drama gossip.
Yeah, what's a little light Fed post?
That's what reminds me. Yeah, like, come on. We're talking about our governor, fucking Jared Polis. We always like, at
least you don't have the previous guy, Hickenlooper. I love that last name.
But he got voted. He's like our representative or something now. These dumbasses voted him in. Yeah, I remember I had a client, and like, this is so stupid. I had a client who has a small business and was all shut down last year, the whole thing. And then like, when the votes were coming up, they're like, well, of course we're voting for Biden. And I'm like, he just said he's going to shut you back down, which that didn't happen. But like, it's like they're so tribal. Like, it's so tribal where I'm like, think.
No,
like,
mean tweets. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, I don't fucking like Trump, but come on. Like, why would you vote for someone who's literally saying they're going to make your life hard? Like,
yeah.
The psyop is so deep.
Yeah, that's if you believe it.
Right. These people believe all that. But that's the thing. Like, I noticed on my Instagram, like, people, the few normie friends were like, I posted about how my governor posted some executive orders, and I was a little hyperbolic about it because I believe in righteous propaganda at this point. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if it gets someone to ask me a question or look something up, it's great. And like, they have no idea.
Sometimes you need to be overreactive to something in order to draw attention to it.
Yeah. And like, so I said he made these executive orders that was basically that the healthcare facilities, which he has helped fire people from, so they're overwhelmed, supposedly, And
Right.
like, because he's fired people, like we have plenty of fucking hospitals out here. But anyways, like, and then I was like, he signed this order so the facilities could turn people away for non-emergency, but
Right.
basically the
Yeah,
order just protects them so they don't
violate
get
your
sued.
your Hippocratic oath right there.
Yeah, they're like, if you turn someone away, it's fine because, and then you won't get sued now because he signed this executive order because we're in a government-run healthcare anyways. But like, I'm like, people didn't even know. I had like a yoga teacher and some other friend. They're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, they didn't even know that he signed these things. And I hate having to know too, but we do. Yeah, I don't want to fucking pay attention to these assholes anymore.
Yeah.
Like, but you have to.
Yeah, it was like down here with the mask mandates. I poured over the East Baton Rouge is kind of like a weird thing because we have a parish president that is also the mayor of Baton Rouge. So when she signed her little order, I was sitting there looking through those, like, this is completely unenforceable. She's not serious about it. And people that I was working with at the time was like, what are you talking about? I was like, if she was completely serious, there would be sheriff's deputies posted at every business door in the entire parish. But they're not. And there's no enforcement mechanism. So even if you don't, they can't fine you because it doesn't outline any kind of fines. And then I was like, look, in this entire section pretty much gives everybody a free pass to not wear it because look at all the exemptions that they have because they're all written by a bunch of slimy lawyers that cover their ass.
Yep.
And it was the same way with the governor one too. So I showed up to a doctor's appointment, maskless because I haven't been wearing them or anything. And it was like, oh, well, you're going to have to wait outside. I was like, why? I was like, because you don't have a mask on. I was like, I'm exempt. Here, Section 3. I would keep a copy on me.
Oh, good.
I was like, Section 3, I don't have to wear one. It causes me physical harm to wear one. It's like, well, you still got to wait outside. It's policy. I was like, I'm showing you the policy.
It's so dumb. My sister got out of she's a teacher, and she got, I wouldn't have told you this on the last one. It happened since then, but they're going to fire her for not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
They're older and married, though. They're 10 years old. I have two sisters that are older than me. But I was the random child from like nowhere.
You was the accident? The happy accident.
I don't think my mom was ready to go back to work child. That's what I think I was. But
it's like, well, I could get pregnant and then I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah, buy me a little time. No, but so she had to she's like, I'm not wearing a mask. I have asthma. And they wouldn't let her do just the face shield, Yeah. They're like, no, you have to wear a mask. And so she fought it and they said, we're going to fire you. And she was like, okay, you either fire me, I'm not quitting kind of thing. And they put her on paid administrative leave. And then they ended up hiring her back anyways and said, you don't have to wear the mask. So it's like, she's going to have to fight the vaccine too, because it's, public school. But why? Yeah. Why are people wanting to make it harder on people? I don't get it. I hate it.
Petty power trips. Gotta love it.
That's what it is. And like literally the people in these bureaucracies, if you look at them, they just look like they look stupid. They look like they're falling.
Everybody watching this and everybody watching this or listening to this, you've all been to the DMV. This is the level of petty power trip that you guys are going to witness.
Yeah. That's what it is. Everybody. That's what this whole shit, all this shit is, It's just like, I'm over it because I'm so like, I'm not into that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do, like, whatever. All right, we're getting on an hour here.
Yep.
You have any plugs?
Just my show, Rebel with a Cause podcast. You can find it at rebelwithcausepodcast.com. On YouTube for the channel Rebel with a Cause podcast. Of course, any podcatcher you got out there if you want to listen to the audio. And of course, Odyssey. I'm there as well.
Sweet. Well, thanks for just talking to me. We can do it anytime you want to talk. If you need to get shit off your chest in the next couple months.
There'll be a lot of that.
You'll probably have to go to counseling. You have to go to counseling probably, right?
I can't be therapized.
I know. That's such a stupid thing. That's so
I'm one
dumb.
of those that will immediately turn it back on the psychologist and I'll get fired.
Yeah. You're like, I can think my own thoughts. Thanks a bunch. All right. Well, have a good rest of your night. And I'll see you on the Twitter side.
Same here. Bye-bye.
Peace out. Bye. Love you. Oops. Bye, everyone.